One of the best action films of recent memory is Brad Bird's first attempt at live action, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is to this day my favourite film in the series. And right in the middle of Ghost Protocol, as we all know, is, in my opinion, the most confident action set piece ever crafted. Now, what do I mean by confident? Well, this nearly 30-minute sequence happens right in the middle of an ongoing story, and instead of grinding it to a halt like most action set pieces would, it takes every single opportunity to further the story, and more importantly, the characters. Along with being a really entertaining and perfectly structured set piece, we can't forget that, of course. I think we all know what made one of Bird's earlier films, The Incredibles, so good, aside from having some awesome action sequences of course, was that it was very much a character-driven film. One that used the action to show the relationships between the different members of the family, how they played off each other, how they learned more about each other, and functioned more effectively as a team in the process. This is something that Bird very clearly carried over to the Mission Impossible series, and probably the main element that made the Burj Khalifa sequence and the entire film so good. From this shot to this shot, every single member of the team has changed in some way, and so has our opinion of them. Everyone knows the whole thing about how the malfunctioning gadgets were a stroke of genius as they made for a more intense and unpredictable situation. All the malfunctioning gadgets in this scene, whether it's the gloves, mask, laser cutter, and Jeremy Renner's contact lenses, all contribute to showing us how the team reacts and improvises when things go wrong. The character most affected by this is of course Ethan. I think it's fair to say that we learn more about this character in half an hour than, I don't know, say this guy in the entire runtime of his film. And that's because we never really get to see this guy under pressure. When things go wrong, there's always an easy solution right there, so there's never any real tension. Whereas this small segment of a much larger set piece of a much larger film shows crews having to improvise 3 times. Here, here, and here. There's also a new element of danger subtly introduced, and this small segment concludes with the team coming together at the end. By the way, this is all done in about 6 minutes, so yeah. The other 3 members of the team are also given their moment to shine. Jeremy Renner's character gets his own little arc in this set piece, going from the helper to getting a look of shock and approval from Hunt after unexpectedly demolishing some goons. Benji also evolves as we see him being more than just the tech guy, while Paula Patton's revenge arc, which was previously set up, is completed with the utmost satisfaction. Characters aside though, the Burj Khalifa sequence is perfectly structured. It's what I like to call a progressive action set piece. Now let's have a look at a few examples of good progressive action set pieces. This opening chase from Skyfall is a really good example. Starting off as a small investigation in an apartment, then a car chase, which leads to a bike chase, which leads to a train chase, which leads to a one-on-one fight on top of a moving train. It's constantly evolving itself, raising the stakes and tension with each new change. Another good example is this scene from Captain America Civil War, which starts off as a small but powerful confrontation, then a fight in the apartment, then a fight in the stairwell, then a rooftop fight, and then a chase. Our Burj Khalifa sequence starts off with the climb, which is being intercutted with the changing of the numbers of the rooms. The two come together for a brief but effective confrontation, which leads to the reason I say this is the most confident set piece ever filmed. A 5-minute conversation slapped right in the middle of this set piece. I've never seen this anywhere else, ever. They just stop everything for a conversation, which is actually intense. Like, they actually maintain the tension from this to this. And to top it all off, we have one of the best foot chases ever with probably the definitive Tom Cruise run, which turns into a car chase. I mean, what more could you ask for?